Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this from Michael Branch. The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation DTCC now lists 9 XRP ETFs as spot products prepare for launch. And you see the list right there. 21 shares, Core XRP Trust, Pro Shares, Bitwise, Canary, Volatility Shares, Coin Shares, Rex Osprey, XRP ETF, Volatility Shares, and Tucrium. But Rex Osprey already has a spot XRP ETF. So is this in addition to the ETF they already have? One thing I know is it looks like we're getting closer and closer to the launch of those ETFs. Once that happens, I think that's going to signal XRP leading us into alt season. XRP open interest has suddenly flipped positive an hour after Ripple commenced the swell event. Now, during that crash, right, everybody was like, it's so over for XRP. And then this article dropped, and I said, you know, this article is spot on with what everybody is saying. Although XRP has continued to plunge deeper, investors have seen a reason to hold on to their optimism as Ripple swell ignites hopes for a positive shift. Over the last hour, XRP's futures activity has seen a surprising surge, with open interest soaring by 3.88%, according to data provided by CoinGlass, with a massive 1,550,000,000 XRP currently committed in active futures contracts. The hourly surge in XRP open interest marks a sudden flip from a bearish trajectory. So even though the price was dipping, investors were loading up in the background. And that's why I'm always telling you, as a retail investor, you should be loading up as well. Always take advantage of the blood in the streets in crypto. This way you have no regrets later. Ripple President Monica Long breaks down Ripple's next chapter at Swell 2025. Take a listen to this.
We have a lot of folks watching who are ardent XRP, enthusiasts, the XRP army. What kind of message can you tell them about the growth plans and, what's sitting in their wallets right now?
Yeah, within Ripple, so of course we have a commercial business where we're serving financial institutions with that digital asset infrastructure, and then we also have a team that's purely dedicated to the ledger and continued innovation. I hope people have been following, developers been following over the past couple of years the amount of new features that we've put up for amendment. Next up is a lending protocol. So there's a lot of investment internally in just expanding the use cases and capabilities, and then also to bring more institutions in their use cases, like stablecoins being a great example, onto XRP Ledger. Ripple team overall, we think about the flywheel effect between utility, trust, and liquidity in XRP. And, we put a lot of work into utility.
They're all about utility. And that's what we're all about as XRP holders. Because we know market cap doesn't matter. Utility matters. BitNominal becomes the first U.S. regulated exchange to accept stablecoins as margin collateral. We're launching support for RLUSD and expanding our accepted collateral to include XRP. If you look at the shift that has happened since Ripple beat the SEC, since that case ended, and we got a pro-crypto administration, there's been so much shift towards Ripple and XRP and RLUSD as well. That shift already started to happen, and we're going to see more of that as we go forward. Boom, just as I said, hold. Take a listen to this.
Your vendors, or you're moving your money around
because
your
it's
different
it's
locations around
better,
the world.
faster, cheaper.
Yeah.
But of course, you got to cross this threshold and get to these steps and get everything integrated. That's going to happen now. The same as it happened for kind of native crypto companies. It's not going to happen for
More
banks, brokers,
mainstream.
fintechs,
Yeah.
all these other companies. And they're going to be settling with our RLUSD and everything else.
From your lips. So let's talk a little bit.
RLUSD is going to become the stablecoin of choice. And that's because Ripple is fully transparent. We know they're doing everything in a regulated way. It's so much different than USDT, Tether. Tether has not even had an audit. We all know they just create Tether and then prop up the price of Bitcoin with it. With RLUSD, it's going to be a lot different. And that's why eventually RLUSD will become the #1 stablecoin. Stablecoins are the fuel. XRP is the engine. I thought this was great. So USDC, EURC, PYUSD are booming. But here's what's most missed. They're stuck in local lanes. XRP opens the highway. Stablecoins are backed by banks. They're siloed. They're USD bound. They serve regions. XRP bridges them all. Every time I see the launch of another stablecoin, I'm like, something has to move that stablecoin. That's what's great about XRP. Because all these stablecoins that are being created by banks and so on, they're all gonna need a bridge. Nobody wants JP Morgan coin. No other bank is gonna accept it. So it goes in as JP Morgan coin into XRP and comes out as that bank's stablecoin. Same thing with going overseas. We have a digital dollar in the United States and we want to send it to the EU. It goes in as digital dollars into XRP, comes out as the digital euro. And we're going to see that with the rise of digital money. And that is absolutely coming. I remember back in the bear market 2022 when I was talking about CBDCs and people were like, that's 10 years from now. That's happening as we speak. A lot of countries are about to go live with central bank digital currency. Institutional investors are buying XRP and Solana at an accelerated rate while they dump Bitcoin. Like I've been saying, we are going to see institutions look past Bitcoin now. Everything's about the next big thing. But the difference is XRP has a real-world use case. XRP solves real-world problems. And they see the technology difference between XRP and Bitcoin. Now, in this article, they're citing and blaming it on the Fed. Jerome Powell and his hawkish speech following the FOMC meeting about the December rate cut. But you could blame it on whatever you want. The reality is this. Institutions, they're looking down the road. Even retail is going to be looking past Bitcoin. I keep seeing them saying, wait until that retail FOMO comes back into Bitcoin. It's not coming into Bitcoin. What retail investor is going to buy a whole Bitcoin when they have other options out there where they could pack a massive bag of XRP for what it costs to buy one Bitcoin? Same thing with ETH. It's too expensive now. Retail's done with it. They're going to move on to whatever is cheaper. What's great about this is that all these ISO compliant cryptocurrencies, they're all still at dirt cheap prices. So you could see retail FOMO on XLM, on XDC, on HBAR, IOTA, Algo, even QNT is still cheap. But they're not going to be coming into this space again and buying Bitcoin. I'm just not seeing it. Retail's looking past Bitcoin, and I think the institutions are doing the same thing. Bitcoin slips below 100K. As analysts say, Bitcoin is set to drop even lower. I've seen people saying that we're going to see a small rebound on Bitcoin before it crashes down to 80K. I think Bitcoin still has one big move left in it in this cycle. I still think it's going to come in under 150K. But as it's moving back up, it's going to pull the rest of the market with it. That will solidify that we're going into alt season. According to Japanese market commentator Yudo Japan has approved 8 non-financial companies to include XRP among their cryptocurrency holdings, signaling another milestone in the nation's progressive approach to digital assets. So there's no timing on when these companies will begin holding XRP, but it is still coming. And they're going to be locking away that XRP for what it's actually used for, to move money across borders. So they're going to lock away this XRP, and they're not going to be rushing to sell that XRP either. They're going to hold it long term. All these treasury companies that are creating treasuries around XRP, they're going to do 5-year lockups on it or 10-year lockups on it. So when they buy that XRP, that's it. It's coming out of circulation. And that's what will lead to scarcity over time. And with scarcity and demand rising, we all know what happens to the price of XRP. We've seen a lot of these big influencers recently, like Jake Claver and others, citing short-term $1,000 predictions for XRP. How do you think we get there? It's through scarcity and demand. Scarcity is already loading, and the demand is still not where it's going to be euphoric yet. When euphoria sets in, we are going to see demand like we've never seen before. That's when you'll see the true price of XRP. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.